Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yo, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams.
And it is the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are online at beerguysradio.com, radio for the local craft beer movement, broadcasting from our flagship studios at AM 920 The Answer in Buckhead in Atlanta. And I'm Aaron Williams.
And I'm Tim Dennis. On today's show, we've got one of Atlanta's awesome newer breweries. We've got the good fellows from Arches here joining us today.
Yeah,
Thanks
absolutely.
so much. We appreciate you guys coming over here, coming into the madness here to join us. And we're going to be talking beer with Jamey Adams and Ryan Fogelgren.
That's a good topic to talk about.
It is.
On the Beer Guys Radio
Absolutely.
Show.
It fits the theme.
You know what? That's what we do.
So we're going to go
theme.
for it.
That's right. That's right. So speaking of themes, you know what? This week, I had a decent week, but you went to the Taste of Atlanta and had some wonderful brews.
So, yeah.
What'd you have?
So I had a good time there. So I went to Taste of Atlanta and got into the Hop Cities, kind of. My buddy gave me some VIP tickets, and they had a section sponsored by Hop City with all the beers. Drank some Epicurious back there. Tried one from Rivertown Brewing called the Rivertown Roebling, which is a vanilla espresso Imperial Porter.
Nice. Liked
that a lot. Had a Saison from Burial, a Tempranillo spelt Saison. And Aaron, do you know what Tempranillo is?
I have no idea.
I didn't either, so I hit the Googles. And Tempranillo is a black grape.
Okay.
So spelt, dark grains, black grapes, Saison. It was tasty, and I'm told that was done for the Taste of Atlanta.
That's very cool. The Burial makes some good stuff, and hopefully there weren't any pawpaws in it.
No, not in this one.
Them.
So
okay.
So and then some Crescendo, new one from Creature Comforts that we enjoyed earlier this week. And Buddy sent me a box full of Hoof-Hearted IPAs from up in Ohio.
I saw that on your socials.
So that's what I got.
Delicious.
That was my week.
Excellent.
How about you?
You know what? I was okay this week. One of my new favorite IPAs out there is the Green Bench Sunshine City IPA. It's a really nice, flavorful IPA, kind of in the line of a Tropicalia, of a Slap Fight from Monday night. It's a really, really nicely done. So I love having that. I was kind of going through my stash, and I realized that I had a 2015 Wake and Bake Coffee Imperial Stout in the back, so I tried it. It's still drinking pretty good.
Yeah.
Getting some good coffee on that, too.
What's wrong with the beer you got?
I don't know. I'm pretty happy about that.
It drinks pretty good, don't it?
That's right. And, of course, you and I also went to the Sweetwater beer release earlier this week from the Low Rider. Unfortunately, Exodus Porter was not chosen as...
It wasn't. So close.
Yes,
so
but
close.
they're re-releasing their Low Rider, and that's going to be, I think, in their mix pack coming up here. Also, their brand new Grapefruit IPA, which is good. It was a great... I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Oh, you caught me.
Yeah.
It is an IPA with grapefruit.
Right.
Not a grapefruit IPA.
And what Sweetwater does with that is they want you to know that this is an IPA that has some grapefruit in it. It's not, the grapefruit's not meant to be just in your face, because a lot of breweries do that. Like in the tasting room, they had the Low Rider IPA, which is a rye IPA, but they had Easy Rider there, which was an IPA with rye.
Was backed off.
So that's how they denote that.
Yeah, and if you ever go to the tasting room, by the way, our favorites, I think, right now is their coffee session.
That was excellent.
It's Coffee Session Porter. It's fantastic.
What about the Bourbon Barrel Aged Coffee Imperial Mushroom Stout? That was nice.
That was interesting, yeah. So if you see Nick knock, maybe you can give him the secret code, and then maybe he'll let you sample some of that, too. So very cool. So, hey, we're talking more beer, so let's get into the Truck and Tap beers of the week.
Crack open a cold one. It's the Truck and Tap Beer of the Week. Woo-hoo! Craft beer and food trucks in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com.
And we're here, of course, the guys from Arches Brewing, Jamey Adams and Ryan Fogelgren, and they brought a copious amount of their beers. So pick a couple of them and tell us a little bit about what you guys brought today.
Well, we brought a Unseasonal Lager. That's our all-year lager.
Okay.
And we're going to try that. And then we're going to skip over to the German Pilsner. We're a lager-heavy brewery, so we want to highlight those. And then we'll probably jump into the Imperial Stout.
That sounds fantastic to me. That sounds like a plan.
If we have to, we will.
Yeah, twist our arm. We'll go ahead and go for that. Exactly. Exactly. So we've got a few more minutes left here. We actually got plenty of time here. So we got lots of time to talk about what's going on in the headlines.
What's in the news? The beer guys have the scoop.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines. Sponsored by Your Pie Perimeter in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center across from Perimeter Mall.
And we've got some interesting headlines in the story. You know, I'm a former journalist. I'm a former newsman, as they say, before I started getting into the beer radio business. I don't really think that's much of a business, but it's not. So
Beer radio
I always
business.
like a good news story. So here we go. So in Wilmington, North Carolina, prosecutors say that a North Carolina judge has been convicted of bribery after he offered beer and money to an officer in exchange for text messages from his wife's cell phone. So I guess the story is that he thought that his wife was cheating on him. And so he went to a deputy from Wayne County in North Carolina, who was also a member of the FBI gang task force, and he wanted him to get the text messages from his wife to kind of prove that he was cheating, so hack her cell phone and get that. And so his payment was money and then also beer.
Now, I saw an article.
Yeah.
Did your article say what kind of beer he offered?
I didn't see that, so I wasn't 100%
So
sure.
I saw an article
Yeah.
that said he offered Bud Light.
Now,
So
see-
if he really wanted to make the deal, maybe he should have upped his offer a little bit.
Maybe
there,
some
so.
no-doubt hop, drop, and roll, some of the good stuff that's
Something,
coming out of
right.
North Carolina, something from Burial.
So many good choices in North
Exactly, but Bud Light, come on, man. You're a judge. You should know better than that. So another news story, by the way. This one over in Alabama just happened, by the way. So after stealing beer from a store in Fort Payne early in the morning of October 25th, a hammer-wielding suspect fatally crashed his vehicle during a police chase. So he actually hit an aluminum light pole, struck a curve, and died as he was driving out of there, and he was stealing beer. So there's the thing. So he smashed the beverage cooler at a market, and he took a carton of beer. So it doesn't say which kind of beer that is either, but when you say carton of beer,
a carton.
I
Yeah.
don't think they're taking good people.
Or it was cartons.
Yeah. So, dude, just our PSA out there for you folks. It's not worth your life to take a carton of Bud Miller Coors.
No,
it's just really not. So,
or if we're being fully honest, pretty much any other beer as well.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true too. So just don't
steal beer.
Don't be a dummy. That's exactly right. So another one actually too. So some local news. You just mentioned this on Beer Guys Radio too. We posted on our Facebook page. Is that Wrecking Bar?
Yep.
They are going to be the newest brew pub to offer growlers to go.
Right. That's it. They got earlier this week, I believe Wednesday evening, they got the rights to serve growlers. And so they kicked that off. I saw a list a little earlier today, but check them out. See what they've got. But Wrecking Bar Brew Pub is now filling growlers.
So congratulations to them. And I don't believe that Cinco de Siberius will be pouring growlers.
I don't think so. Siberius Maximus.
The Siberius Maximus, exactly.
So,
that'll be gone like in
it was
30
not
seconds.
on the initial list, I can tell you that. So
maybe if you know a guy, maybe you can get some of that growlers to go. So, another local brewery making some news too in Athens, Creature Comforts. They've kind of expanded their tasting room, and of course their big new release. Not expanded their tasting room, expanded the releases available in their tasting room by doing some kind of a one-off tasting room only beers. The big one, of course, was the Crescendo, which is their take on the Northeast IPA.
Right, and I chatted with them a little bit about that. So they've added some personnel and some equipment to the point that they're able to dedicate a 30-barrel fermenter and bright tank to their innovation project. And they said that this will be something where they test new beers, pilot batches of stuff, that they want to add to the rotation, that they've been so busy with the core brewing that they haven't done a lot of innovation lately. They wanted to change that. This is how they're going to do it. So, and Crescendo's the first one.
And then I think we also talked about it on Beer Guys Radio on the website on .com that we've got, I believe, Duende, which is a double IPA. And possibly a breakfast stout that's coming later on down the pike, too.
Those are the ones we know are planned, and, apparently they plan on keeping this moving to where there's something new fairly regularly.
Yeah, and if you can make the trip to Athens, I do know that they do have them on tap in some local areas. It's kind of very hit or miss. Your best bet is to go to Athens to the brewery at Creature Comforts, get it on draft, and I believe you can get some quote-unquote souvenirs to go.
That's right.
Because we're Georgia, and you have to take souvenirs to go and cannot pay for it yourself.
That's right. Free souvenirs. But if you can't make it to Athens, check our website because we have a list of the locations that will have it on draft outside of the brewery.
Definitely. And also, before we take a break here, we're going to give a shout-out to Gulf Shores, Alabama, Big Beach Brewing. We've talked about them a couple of times. They've officially opened in Gulf Shores, Alabama, so there's a brand-new brewery for folks there on the coast. Good news for them. So, again, the beer choices just keep expanding. It just seems like really every other week I see another brewery either in the works or expanding here in Georgia and Alabama, and that's always a good thing.
It's good. Close to home, right?
That's definitely true. So, anyway, we're about ready to take our first break, and we'll come back. We'll talk to the guys from Arches Brewing on the south side. Speaking of fairly new breweries, Jamey Adams and Ryan Fogelgren. Plus, we'll have the hot list, and Tim, you'll have your whale of the week. So stay tuned. Beer Guys Radio will be back right after this.
Hi, this is Bob Sandage, owner of the Wrecking Bar Brew Pub. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the beer guy sent you.
Hey, this is Aaron. I want to thank you so much for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We've got some really awesome things that are coming soon that will help us engage with you some more. We're not going to lie to you, though. It takes time, effort, and money to produce this show every week. So if you'd like to be part of the Beer Guys family, we would love your help. Head to patreon.com/beerguys to become a sponsor. We're not going to beg. Okay, maybe just a little bit. But hey, we've got some great swag for those who become a sponsor, and you'll be among the first to know about the great things that are coming to the Beer Guys universe. Again, that's patreon.com, Patreon, patreon.com/beerguys, or you can go to beerguysradio.com and click the sponsor link. We thank you for your support, and cheers.
It's Aaron and Tim, the Beer Guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out. Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the Beer Guys sent you.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Well, I'm sure I'd feel much worse if I weren't under such heavy sedation.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're at beerguysradio.com. We are broadcasting from the AM 920 The Answer Studios in beautiful Buckhead, Atlanta, Georgia. And we are talking to a couple of the guys behind Arches Brewing, Ryan Fogelgren and Jamey Adams. Guys, thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
You bet.
This is exciting stuff you guys are doing here.
And I know you just opened a beer up for us.
We did.
And why don't you tell us about that, what that is, and we'll do some pouring here.
Sure, so I'll start you guys on it first. Obviously, we drink it every day, so this is the Unseasonal Lager. Like we were talking about earlier, we're a lager-focused brewery, so we do a lot of seasonal lagers, and this is our only year-round lager that we do. It's our flagship that's poured in our tasting room and available generally all year long. So we'll start you with that one, and then we'll check out some others here pretty soon. Okay. But I'll let Jamey do the hardcore describing of the beer.
All right.
Okay.
Well, it's designed to drink all year, as we said. So it's got a lightness to it that allows you to have it during the summer months, the hotter months, and then but it's got some body to it as well that allows it to be drank sitting around a campfire later in the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a nice drinking beer. I like
Guys,
that a lot.
please excuse me if I missed this somehow. Is it a certain style? Is it?
It's an American lager.
Just an American lager. Okay.
It had to fit into a style.
Also, if it had to go into one. That's the trick, is sometimes you're inspired in ways that don't fit necessarily, the holes that are available there.
Sometimes,
Well, cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
No, definitely. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So now, Jamey and Ryan, you guys were pretty avid homebrewers for quite a while before you actually did the crazy idea of actually going pro. So tell us a bit about the backstory of Arches. How did this whole thing get started?
Sure. It started really when Ryan and I went to a party together. I brought some homebrew. I met Ryan and realized how passionate he was about opening a brewery. So the short story is three brewers ran into a lawyer and a marketing guy, and that's sort of
that's a good combination.
That's how it starts. It sounds like
is this the start of a joke?
Yeah. Yeah. There was no bar involved, but the long story is we've been brewing for about 11 years on my patio. It's a screened-in patio down in East Point. And that's where the name comes from as well. The patio has 4 brick arches around it, and although we had some really crazy names over the last 11 years, Arches was the one that stuck. And so when we moved out and moved into the brewery, we took the Arches with us.
I remember seeing that in the tasting room, the decor up there with the arches and that. So very
you guys
cool.
have the big metal arch on there on the front of the tasting room, so that's very cool. So yeah, and you guys, speaking of the tasting room, you guys put a lot of sweat equity in that too. Tell us a bit about that process. We visited you back in April when you guys were just getting ready to open up, and a lot of work opening brewery, huh?
Just a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah,
there you go.
More sweat and blood, I think, than anything. But yeah, that was a space we got about a year and a half ago now, April 2015. It was a ball bearing manufacturer when we got it, so it had a lot of office space. We tore out a lot of walls, rebuilt it to feel like a Bavarian tasting room. So a lot of the old world beers that we do, we wanted to extend that in the tasting room. When you come in, check out our beers, you have that feeling of kind of that classicness of wood, metal, stone to support that, and we did it all ourselves.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the wood that you've got there, too, has all been recycled or upcycled, I guess they call it now.
Reclaimed,
yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. It was from a 200-year-old cotton mill in Anniston, Alabama. So we got very fortunate to go pick up a bunch of wood from them, only got a couple nails through the foot doing that.
That's okay, not too bad. So.
You need a tetanus shot anyway.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
They can just pour some beer on that. I think that takes care of it.
So we spent a year building that tasting room, and it was definitely a laborious process, but it was a whole lot of fun. And we designed it all ourselves, built it all ourselves. So we're very proud of what we've done there, and it's turned out to be pretty good.
Now, guys, when we visited you, and definitely the beer we started off with here would indicate that is still the case. You had a big focus on lagers, traditional old world styles, and that. Is that still the case? And kind of what draws you to those styles of beers?
Ultimately, it's a niche in the market that we're sort of going after. But I'm a seasonal drinker, and the way that I really enjoy is following that cycle that's been going on for centuries of lagers, such as those in Europe and Germany. And I like a dark beer in the winter, and I like a light beer in the summer, and it's easy to do that with lagers. And so another concept would be that taps, once you get on tap somewhere, that they don't have to think. They just have to know that they're going to get a seasonally appropriate lager that comes from our seasonal rotation.
Now that's something with the names. I noticed, talking with the exception of unseasonal, the names are Russian Imperial Stout, Scotch Ale. Is that an intention to just keep it simple?
Exactly.
This is what it is. You know what you're getting there. So
yeah, I think with the names, we've named a few that felt right. That felt like that the profile of the name fit the profile of the beer. We started this brewery not wanting to force anything. So when something feels right, we do that.
Okay. And
some of those names felt very right, and the rest of them are just the style, and that's what they are. They're very simple.
Yeah. And that kind of ties into what we'd said. You'd said kind of two of your main pillars are simplicity and quality. So if it doesn't need a name, or if one doesn't click, don't name it. Right? Don't force a name into it. And the quality with that being cleaner, easier drink beers and such. Is that something? I know we talked a little bit before about the area you're in. If you're looking at the Atlanta metro, it's not the craft beer mecca of the world, and you were kind of one of your goals was kind of to introduce people there to craftier beers or craft beer, correct?
Absolutely. I think that's it's a market that has a lot of demand, and I think there's a lot of cool things going on the south side. And I think Jamey's been there for 12 years and can speak to the history there. But we were very excited about what was going on in that part of the city, and there's a lot of folks that love craft beer down there, and we've introduced them to a lot of new styles.
And plus, it doesn't help too that you've got major companies like Porsche and Delta that are down there too. Of course, Porsche, a German company, would make sense that they're drinking a lot of the German beers.
Sure.
Exactly, yeah. Tell us a little bit about the Hapeville Forest Park area. A shout out to one of my friends, Joe Shorter, who lives down there too, and friends of you guys. He always talks about it and how what a really kind of a special community you guys have down there. Tell me about how that whole community fits together and how you guys kind of blend in and started off with that.
Well, I've been down there for 13 years or so, and I've seen it go up and down. We were in a boom when I first moved in, and it got hit really hard with the recession. So it's nice to see other businesses, including Arches, but other businesses coming in. Like we have a great growler shop, Beer Girl. That's where you can get our stuff on tap. You can also get bottles there. But there's other businesses that are just starting to come back. That's really helping out. So I thought it would take about 6 months before we were in all of the the restaurants and bars down there. But within 2 months, we were pretty much on tap everywhere down there. They're huge supporters of us, and we do see the community coming in quite a bit. And I love the fact that every single time that we have a tasting, people come in that have never tried some of the styles that we do. They don't drink dark beer, whatever it is. And I love when they try it and they completely change their mind on that.
Now, is it sort of a process where you go through and you take them through the American lager and you kind of ramp them up a little bit to say, okay, if you like this one, try this one, and just kind of keep that education process going?
Yeah, when we first started, we sort of numbered them 1 through 8. We have 8 beers on tap at all times. And so I sort of numbered them 1 through 8 and make it easy. But what I'm finding is that I was dead wrong with that. All of our beers are pretty drinkable, one after another. We don't do anything too far outside the norm. And so you can easily go from a dark beer to a light beer back to a dark beer.
We're going to take a quick break here. We're talking with the guys from Arches Brewing. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show, and we'll be right back.
This is Brian Roth with the Southern Brewing Company. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Hey, it's Aaron, and you know what I hate? When I miss a favorite TV show and forget to DVR it. Don't let this tragic tale happen to you when it comes to Beer Guys Radio. Subscribe to us on demand. It is easy. If you've got iTunes, Stitcher, or any other iOS or Android podcast app, search for us or go to beerguysradio.com, click listen, and you can copy and paste the RSS feed. While you're there, by the way, give us a review. It really helps. That's Beer Guys Radio on demand. Catch it today.
It's Aaron and Tim, the Beer Guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer service are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out, Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the Beer Guys sent you.
The Beer Guys Radio Show on the Beer Guys Radio Network. BeerGuysRadio.com.
Hey, it's Aaron. I want to give a quick shout out to our newest sponsor. It's HopSpot Beer Tours of Atlanta. Now, there's a lot of tours out there, but what makes HopSpot Beer Tours different? Well, you get exposure. There's more to Atlanta craft beer than just breweries. A HopSpot Beer Tour gives you the who, what, where, and when to craft beer right here in Atlanta and the state. Education. Whether you're a native, a transplant, or a visitor, you'll always learn something new. And connection. HopSpot connects you to guests, local breweries, and businesses to create those lasting relationships. We invite you to check out what makes HopSpot different. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter and Instagram at HopSpotATL, and of course, visit HopSpotBeerTours.com. Use promo code BeerGuys10 and receive 10% off your order. HopSpot Beer Tours. Hop on, get connected. That's HopSpotBeerTours.com. Hey, it's Aaron, and you're a fan of craft beer, right? And you want to know more about what's going on in the craft beer scene in Georgia? Thanks to the hard work from my co-host Tim, we are giving you the lowdown on the craft beer scene every week, right in your inbox. Go to BeerGuysRadio.com and sign up for This Week in Georgia Beer right at the top. We won't spam you, promise, or sell your name. Just good beer info every week. Plus, you can win great prizes from us. This Week in Georgia Beer, sign up today. BeerGuysRadio.com.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the Beer Guys sent you.
Ahoy there, mateys! Hunting whales? We've got you covered with Tim's Whale of the Week.
Yar, Tim, what do we have for the Whales of the Week?
Got a couple to keep an eye out for. This one you may be too late for. We gave the heads up last week that it may be coming. It did come, may be gone already. That's how these whales work sometimes. They're in and they're out. So the Michigan Maple Jesus, which is from Evil Twin, stout, maple barrel in that. Highly sought after, moving fast, but may still be some out there. One you can still get, Highly sought after. Again, we've talked about this one a lot, but the Creature Comforts Crescendo.
Yep.
That's one that folks want right now at the brewery. You can get it on draft or some cans for your souvenir to go, or take a look at beerguysradio.com and figure out where you can get it outside of the brewery.
There you go. Well, something that's not a whale of the week, though, is the Arches Brewing, and we're here with Ryan Fogelgren and Jamey Adams. They cracked open another one during the break, so what are we drinking on now?
This is the Imperial Pilsner, so it's going to be the big brother of our German Pilsner. About 8%, and has a nice bready front and a sharp finish.
Yeah, it definitely has that sharp finish to it, so it's for a Pilsner, it's got some kick to it, definitely.
Yeah.
So
both the beers are, I've had some lagers that they don't get the cleanness, and that's really the trick with the lager. You've got to have that clean finish to it. You got to have a nice, dry, clean finish, to a lager beer. And both of these have just been really nice. And it's good. I enjoy these styles. I'm glad to see some coming back. When Aaron and I have talked to several different brewers, and we're hearing more people say, we want to do a lager. We want to do something. We want to do ESBs, these kind of beers, that there's still plenty doing the huge double IPAs with all kinds of stuff put in them, or big barrel-aged stouts, and I enjoy those. I like those beers, but sometimes you want to sit around and drink an unseasonal lager or something like this, just enjoy the clean malts and, some hoppiness to it. And these are great. So
Definitely.
Thanks for sharing, guys. Enjoy this a lot.
Now, one of the reasons why, of course, it's so clean, of course, would be the water that you're using. And I know that you guys, one of the big things you do is a lot of water chemistry. Tell us a bit about what you guys do in your programs behind that.
Yeah, so the water chemistry, I'm a chemist, so to me it's fairly simple. It's straightforward. We're adding one of 6 minerals or multiple of the 6 minerals, but we're just changing the water profile to mimic that of the host country of the beer that we make. So if we're making a German Pilsner, we're creating German water in the brew house, and then we're using that all day.
Now, do you strip the water down with the original water that you get from the tap or from the well to nothing, and then you kind of build it back up? Is that how it works?
That's how it works in a lot of parts of the country where the mineral content already exists, but we live in Atlanta. It's all surface water. There really doesn't have much of a mineral content to it. So I start with a clean slate, so to speak.
Reverse osmosis.
It's already there. It's already there.
Okay.
There's really not a lot of mineral content.
So you don't do any. You bring it in with that.
Right.
You don't do anything.
That's right. We bring it in. We filter it a couple times just to clean it up, and then add the minerals that we want.
Yeah. It's interesting. You said you're a chemist, and you're like, water chemistry is pretty simple. It's pretty easy in that. So I have a buddy who's a biochemist. I think I'm probably messing that up. But it just all clicks with him, and he gets excited about it. He'll break out the sheets and do these and try to figure all these levels and that, and he's excited about it. And I've got one that I think they call it easy water, and I still struggle to figure it out sometimes. Make this adjustment and that adjust that. You don't want to put this in here or there. So I've been told that with my brewing, that's probably the next step I need to take is something. So if we're talking about this, a home brewer that does decent beer. Let's say he filters his water. He's got his fermentation chambers, he's controlling his temps and that. That's something that I think more people are starting to look at it now. But home or professional brewer, you really do need to look at that water chemistry to get the beer that you want, correct?
Definitely. Certain water profiles are going to give you a malty beer. Certain water profiles are going to give you a more hoppy, accentuated beer. So once you get those mineral contents dialed in, then you can not only do you have to copy or try to mimic a water profile, you can just design the water profile around the beer that you want to create. So obviously you don't want to use that bitter accentuating water profile on something like a Munich Dunkel, like we just had from Reformation. Delicious beer. It was all malt, no bitterness at the end. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, right. You don't really think about it but of course, water is 90% plus, of what you're drinking, and what's actually in that water makes a huge impact of what the actual finish, what the actual ingredients will taste like at the end.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, we're here with Ryan Fogelgren and Jamey Adams from Arches Brewing. Now, we talked a little bit about, the area that you live in the south side in Hapeville, Forest Park, or, the Hapeville area. What are the reactions that you've had so far? You're kind of emphasizing styles that really aren't represented in the Atlanta market. Something that really has been something that you guys have been able to deliver and people are excited about?
The quick answer is yes. Yeah. When people come into our tasting room, they a lot of times will ask, where's the IPA? And we don't have one. We have a pale ale called Equilibrium that it's a great pale ale built around the concept of balance. But when you look at our 8 other beers on tap, they're designed all differently. They're all different beers. And like you mentioned before, we've had people from Porsche, people from Delta come in. A lot of times these guys from Porsche are from Stuttgart, and they come in and they try the German Pilsner, and they're ready to give some feedback that, man, this is terrible compared to Germany.
Sure.
But a lot of them will come back and say, man, this tastes like home. And so that kind of feedback that we get from them, especially when we're making a German beer, is very complimentary for us and what Jamey and the guys in the back are doing with the beers, especially the lagers that we make. So not only are we introducing a great community of Hapeville, but we're also introducing a lot of styles to people that you don't necessarily get at every shop in Atlanta. And we've had a lot of positive feedback for that.
That's something, talking about the German styles and that, it's something we had Owen Ogletree and JR from Max Lagers on. Yep. JR had a funny story about someone coming in and critiquing his brewing and, that he didn't know anything about these beers. But, Owen mentioned to us, going over there and drinking the beers, just so, there's a difference there. It's, even some of the good American ones don't quite, compare to that. So for them to come in and say, hey, this tastes like home, that's pretty high compliments on your beer there.
Yeah, it's good to hear. It's always good to hear. When we, like Jamey mentioned earlier, we're seasonal brewers, and when you start to hear things like that, it makes you feel good about what you're doing, and a lot of the beers that we're making, and overall kind of the strategy that we've put forth. And we opened in April, and sometimes we forget that, so that's always good.
Yeah, and definitely. Also, too, you're brewing a lot of lagers as well. That's got to have some challenges here in the Deep South, where you need cold temperatures to lager beers in a long time. In the Deep South, we're not known for a lot of cold temperatures, so that could be a challenge for you guys too, right?
Take some refrigeration.
You guys actually had 2 coolers there, one to storage and had one you were lagering in, correct? So
yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So outside of that, guys, we've talked a lot, about the lagers and that. I know you mentioned the Scotch Ale, Stout, things like that. What else is in the works for you guys?
Well, we've got some beers coming up. We're going to release a Dunkel, a Munich Dunkel as well. That'll be coming up soon. The rest of our year for lagers will be the Dunkel followed by a Baltic Porter. The Baltic Porter is the only porter that's a lager, so that should be coming out soon. Mm-hmm. And I think we're at our max for our ales for this time of year. We've got the Scotch Ale out. We have Russian Imperial Stout out. We will continue to do the Belgian series. So we start off with our Southern Belle Belgian Blonde as our single. We do a double, and then a triple, and then also a quad. So about every couple weeks, you should basically, based on the interest in the tasting room, we'll be switching those out and we'll get through the full cycle hopefully by January.
Awesome.
Now, we've also been talking, we wanted to ask you a little bit about plans for distribution. Bottles, cans, can we expect to see that in the future, or are you guys just kind of doing it locally with kegs now?
Yeah, I think our big focus was organic growth when we started this. Mm-hmm. So we've had a lot of demand to keep up with on a 3-barrel system. It's pretty tough. So we're ramping up production as much as we can on that system and then looking at maybe some personnel equipment to ramp up even further. Probably looking at next year for cans, and primarily cans, unless we do some hand bottling or some small-scale bottling for some bombers, Russian Imperial Stout, quad, that sort of thing.
Because we got some sexy bombers in here today.
We do.
Nice Arches logo on
those
and stuff,
those are
right?
brand new. Yeah. They're very simple. They're not super creative, but those were the ones that we're gonna have to-go beer for. So soon we'll have some to-go beer.
Excellent. That sounds great. Ryan and Jamey, we'll get you guys in for a couple more minutes on the back end of this last segment, but stick around. Beer Guys Radio will be back right after this. We're online at beerguysradio.com.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep. Brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the Beer Guys sent you.
Hey, this is Aaron. I want to thank you so much for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We've got some really awesome things that are coming soon that will help us engage with you some more. We're not going to lie to you, though. It takes time, effort, and money to produce this show every week. So if you'd like to be part of the Beer Guys family, we would love your help. Head to patreon.com/beerguys to become a sponsor. We're not going to beg. Okay, maybe just a little bit. But hey, we've got some great swag for those who become a sponsor, and you'll be among the first to know about the great things that are coming to the Beer Guys universe. Again, that's patreon.com, Patreon, patreon.com/Beer Guys, or you can go to beerguysradio.com and click the sponsor link. We thank you for your support, and cheers.
It's Aaron and Tim, the Beer Guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out. Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the Beer Guys sent you.
Hey, it's Aaron, and you know what I hate? When I miss a favorite TV show and forget to DVR it. Don't let this tragic tale happen to you when it comes to Beer Guys Radio. Subscribe to us on demand. It is easy. If you've got iTunes, Stitcher, or any other iOS or Android podcast app, search for us, or go to beerguysradio.com, click listen, and you can copy and paste the RSS feed. While you're there, by the way, give us a review. It really helps. That's Beer Guys Radio on demand. Catch it today.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Cannonball coming.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are broadcasting from the Beer Guys Radio Studios at AM 920 The Answer in Buckhead, Atlanta, Georgia. And we are here today with Arches Brewing. Guys, we've moved up. We've stepped it up a little bit here. So we had a couple really nice lagers in that, but we've decided to go Russian Imperial Stout here. So
Yes,
can you tell us a little bit about this beer?
Sure. It's to start off, it's 9.5% alcohol, so it's got a little bit of a kick to it. It sits for about 6 to 8 months, depending on the year we make it. This one started tasting good about a month ago.
Okay.
So it was brewed in May. It was designed to start drinking around November. It's got the only adjunct it has in it is cocoa.
Okay.
Everything else is just
it's got a nice
beer ingredient.
Nice molassesy taste on the back end. It's just this is the type of like you said, seasonal drinking. I like that too. We're right about the time. We're just starting to get those cold nights. I want to have a cigar by the fire pit and have one of these, and I'll be a happy camper.
Now this isn't barrel aged, is it?
Not barrel aged, but cask conditioned.
Okay, that's because I was going to say barrel aging. You'll see someone leave 3, 4, 6 months or whatever, but that's kind of unheard of to leave a beer 6 to 8 months. That's precious real estate that's beer sitting on there for a production brewery, right?
It is. It was kegged early on, June.
Right.
So it's sat in kegs. Real estate is a problem, but I think that it's worth it for this.
But that speaks to you guys talking about the quality in that being first to you, that you'll wait until the beer tells you it's ready to serve.
That's right. So. And the other thing about this beer is we put it in with about 20 gravity points left, so it does condition. It does continue to ferment in the keg, which gives it its own carbonation. So it carbonates itself, and it allows us to control exactly when we want to stop that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
and plus,
cool.
again, you don't want to drink this in August. This is just for me anyway. I'm like,
yeah.
It's like 80 degrees at 10 o'clock. I'm like,
I'll drink a
stout
stout in August. I'm not scared. I'll do it. So
you're a wild man, Tim. That's why. So,
well, guys, we said we talked a little bit earlier. So you have a party later today, actually, the brisket chili Halloween party, and that correct?
This weekend.
Yep.
This is Saturday.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So
later today, 3 to 7.
We time travel when we take this show.
Like
we take forward.
Okay.
That's right.
So you have a party a little later today, doing some brisket chili Halloween party in that. Is that correct?
Yep. So Jamie's famous brisket chili, 3 to 7. It'll be called Taps from the Tombs. So Halloween party, best dressed, costume prizes, the whole thing.
Very cool.
I'm going to go as a beer drinker.
That's it.
I'm so unimaginative. Terrible.
Winner.
That's what I do. So.
Well, guys, thank you so much for talking with us. Anything else we want to cover? Anything we missed here?
No, we really appreciate you having us on the show.
No, thank you.
I'll just say, come see us at the brewery. We're open Thursday and Saturday afternoon. Come hang out.
And you guys are conveniently located kind of near the airport, so if you got someone coming in for the holidays, just go down.
Stop
an
by.
hour early, stop by for a couple of beers. And instead of using the cell phone lot there at Hartsfield, you can use
Arches Brewing lot.
There you go.
The extended cell phone lot there, right?
Yeah,
so,
there you
guys,
go.
That works great.
You guys on all the social media, if people want to check you out, where should they follow along?
Yep, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Untapped, Beer Advocate, Arches Brewing. You can find us on all of it, or just reach out to us. Feel free to do that as well.
So many socials.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys for showing up. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you so much.
All right, you ready for the hot list?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Time for the hot list. The beer guys have the scoop on what you need to know for next week.
That's hot.
I'll go first here in Alabama. We've got some crazy stuff going on. Not really, but, it's Halloween. It's Halloween weekend. It's spooktacular. I just like saying the word spooktacular this time of the year. And we've got a couple of things going on. So this afternoon, it's Haunt de Hops going on in Birmingham. And this could get kind of ugly from what I can see from the description, because not only is it a brewery tour, it's a brewery tour on bikes. But not only is it a brewery tour on bikes, it's also a costume brewery tour. And so they're going to all the different breweries, kind of having a beer crawl in costumes on bikes. I think I might just watch to see what happens at the end of that tour.
This sounds like something I'd come up with just to be mean.
Exactly.
Just say, you know what? Let's drink, put on costumes, ride bikes.
Ride bikes. Disaster
and juggle.
may happen.
That's the third. That's the other part of it. So.
Exactly. And so that could be very interesting. Also on Sunday too at Rocket Republic in the Huntsville area, Gavin, the tasting room manager, is leaving for California, and they're having a little party for him. That's at 3 p.m. on Sunday. Saturday and Monday in Dothan, Folklore Brewing is releasing their 2016 batch of the 13 Ghosts, and this sounds pretty fantastic. Double chocolate Imperial Honey Porter, which is a 12% ABV. That's going to be available on tap and on bottles on Saturday afternoon, so this afternoon. And then on Monday, they're going to have a limited release of their 2015 Rum Barrel Aged 13 Ghost on tap and in bottles, 1 bottle per person, too. So Folklore Brewing in Dothan, that looks pretty good. And then my favorite event of the week in Alabama, the Pinstripe Fest at Blue Pants. They've got 12 different variants of the Pinstripe Stout on tap, plus they have the I Love Bacon food truck. And so whenever you have a food truck saying I Love Bacon, plus the Pinstripe Stouts, which are absolutely fantastic, I think I'm going to have to go take a road trip possibly on Friday to do that.
I'm all about those Pinstripe. I've enjoyed those quite a lot.
Yeah,
that'd definitely be one I'd check
the
out.
peanut butter, that's fantastic. Yeah. And again, the I Love Bacon food truck.
Can't beat it.
That's right. What about Georgia?
Georgia, man, we got a lot of stuff going on. So as the Arches fellas mentioned, later today they've got Brisket Chili, Halloween. Go party with them. Check them out. Drink some of the Unseasonal Lager, other lagers, some Stout, all kinds of good stuff. Guys, great beers again. I just wanted to throw that in there. I've enjoyed every single one you've poured for us. So
yeah, we appreciate it.
It's great, man. So also Blues and Brews at Southbound over in Savannah. If you're out there on coastal Georgia, check it out. Also through Monday at Reformation Brewery, they're celebrating their 3rd anniversary weekend. They're going to have different themed events every day. They also, yesterday, they released their 95, which is their anniversary beer, which is a Munich lager. It's a great beer. We've had it earlier here in the studio, so go check that out. Try it on draft at the brewery. Get you a bomber to go. So good stuff. On Sunday, Walking Dead watch party at Your Pie Perimeter. Back on, big show. Everybody watches that. So pizza, beer, and Walking Dead.
That's right.
Can't argue with that. On Halloween, the Nest in Kennesaw have a Halloween party. Your Pie Perimeter, another event. They're having their Halloween. So check that out. Through the 4th is the official Burial Beer Company Atlanta market launch. That starts on Halloween, goes through November 4th. They've been in a few places around Atlanta before now, but they're doing their official launch. Whole string of events. So check our website or their website for all the details there. So on next Thursday, Creature Comforts is having a fall harvest dinner, Victory Pint Night at Your Pie Perimeter, and on next Friday, Pale Ale for President at Reformation, which is their employee brew-off with a bunch of Pale Ales to try.
I could vote for Pale Ale for President.
That's it.
I really could. I think
definitely my favorite candidate.
I think I'll have to write that in, actually, when it comes to next couple of weeks, too. And again, going back to Burial, those guys, if you haven't had a chance to try them out, they make some fantastic stuff. I had the Bolo Brown a couple of weeks ago, and that is delicious. I mean, even their Session IPA is good. I mean, they don't mess around. They make some really, really nice beers. So, yeah, we've got that, a couple of minutes left here. We're drinking on this beer from Arches. But before we kind of wrap up, we've got a giveaway to give away.
We do, indeed. So our winner this week of the Beer Guys Radio swag pack and we got some new swag today. The guys from Arches brought us koozies and stickers and glassware, so we've got some cool stuff to include here. And our winner this week is Cecilia Wang.
All right.
So, Cecilia, thank you for subscribing. Drop us an email to beerguys@beerguysradio.com and send us your address info. We'll get a swag pack sent out your way. Now, Aaron, if others want to be entered to win this giveaway that we give away, how would they do that?
Well, Tim, it's easy. All you have to do is go to beerguysradio.com and sign up for This Week at Georgia Beer. It's going to be right there at the top of the webpage, or you'll also have a little pop-up window. I know pop-ups are no fun, but I can't do that voice for very long.
Our pop-up window is a sexy one, though.
It is a very nice. You did a really
pop-up.
nice job with that.
Thank you.
So just enter in your name, your email address, and you'll get This Week in Georgia Beer, which is a great list of all the cool stuff that's going on in Georgia. Not only events, but also some releases as well. We don't spam you. We only give you one email a week on Friday mornings. Get you planning your weekend and taking care of that, and then be entered to win some sweet swag. I've got a big box of it up in my office. I'm just itching to give it away. So
yes,
enter,
good stuff.
Win. Let us know you're there, and it's going to be really good. So. So we're about ready to wrap things up for this week on the Beer Guys Radio Show. But what do we got next week?
Next week? I don't know.
You don't know.
What do we got?
We've got Eventide. Yeah,
Eventide.
absolutely.
We're talking to Haley Cowan from Eventide here. So
that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun. We've been working for quite a while on getting Haley on the show, so that'll be nice. I know they've had, I believe it's called Highlander, is their Scotch ale that's come out recently, so that's one. So that's what's going on next week.
Definitely.
And now I know.
Now you know. And check out beerguysradio.com for all the news, notes, and events from around the beer world and beyond. We're on the socials as well. So in the meantime, we're going to sign off, and we'll talk to you next week. Don't forget to drink local, and cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're on demand via iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Always online at beerguysradio.com. Aaron and Tim are back next week with more about the amazing world of craft beer. Cheers. The Beer Guys Radio Show on the Beer Guys Radio Network. BeerGuysRadio.com.